Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the regular council meeting of October 22nd, 2024. A couple of reminders for today's meeting. Members of the media may sit in the upper balcony at the reserved media table. All other guests, please take a seat in the first floor gallery. If that is full, there is overflow seating on the second floor in the Victoria Room, where you will be able to see and hear the meeting. We live stream the meeting on our YouTube channel, and the recording is available after the meeting. This meeting is also broadcast Live on your TV, Cogeco Subscribers Channel 10, HD Channel 700, and rebroadcasted on Wednesday at 9 a.m. and on Saturday at noon. Because meetings are accessible to the public in all of these ways, video or audio recording by members of the public is not permitted in council chambers. This is to ensure that all attendees and those who come to make a deputation feel at ease. Thank you for your cooperation. Call the meeting to order, and first thing is recognition of Early Childhood Educator Appreciation Day. It is a day to recognize the important work of ECEs and others who are committed to providing quality care for young children. Our children are the future, and ECEs are vital to ensuring children in their care receive critical educational programs to thrive during this foundational time in their life. On behalf of Council, I would like to thank our Children's Services staff who support ECEs across the city, and to thank all ECEs for their commitment and care they take with our children. On this Friday, October 25th, the lights at City Hall will be changed to purple in honor of Dress Purple Day. This is a day to raise awareness of child welfare and the supports provided by Kawartha Haliburton Children's Aid Society. Dress Purple Day is a province-wide campaign to spread the message that every child has a right to safety and well-being, and that there is help available to all youth who need it. On Friday, all members of the community are encouraged to dress purple to show our collective commitment to support the community-based care for families and children. I'll ask everyone to rise and join us in the singing of O Canada. Let's take a moment for silent reflection. Thank you. Councillor Warren, you have the adoption of the open session agenda.
I do. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Perry, that the agenda for the open session of the regular council meeting of Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 be adopted and circulated.
All in favor? And that's passed. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest on anything on today's agenda? Seeing none, should any arise during the course of the meeting, please inform the chair and we'll deal with it accordingly. Thank you. Could I have a motion that the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 24th, 2024 be received and adopted? Councillor Warren, seconder Councillor Richardson, all in favor, and that's passed. Now we'll go back to notices and information by members of council and staff. Councillor Richardson.
Thank you. Today, this October 24th at Thursday evening, the Lindsay Dragonflies presents their Diva Night at Victoria Park Armories. This event is sold out as October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and is promoting local education that early detection does save lives. It's an outstanding event that our group puts on a yearly basis, and it's all about public education, and we can't thank them enough for being able to do that in our community. Mayor Swans presents the Halloween Euchre this Saturday, 26th at 6:15 at the Bethany United Church. Members Minor Hockey presents Punch Douglas at the Members Arena on Saturday, November 2nd at 8 o'clock, $20 a ticket. There's a mum-to-mum sale this Sunday at Janetville Community Center. This is about swapping out goods and saving money, and the donation to the Janetville Food Bank is appreciated. Mayor Swan presents Name That Tune musical trivia night on Friday, November 8th at 7 p.m. Ponyville Community Center. $25 a player, everything going to the Mayor Swan's Facebook page for more information, and everything goes back to the community on these local events they're posting. I'm announcing my first Christmas market, as many will be coming. Out the gate is in Ponyville Community Center on Saturday, November 16th, 10 to 2. It's a sold-out event and admission to the local food banks. At this time, I want to give a huge shout out to the Fowler's Corners Lions, who host their cruise nights at Craftworks Barn all summer long. They donated $50,000 last week to the following organizations: Five Counties Children's Center, Hospice Peterborough, BGC Kawarthas, Camp Maple Leaf, and the Lions Club Camp Kurt Foundation. Also, just a reminder to take time and reflect and commemorate our veterans on Monday, November 11th at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Yeo.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you. The few things going on. I just let you know that Norland will be hosting its Remembrance Day ceremony on November 9th, 10:30 basically in the morning at the Cenotaph at the old public school. And Coboconk at the Legion, of course, is November 11th, as per usual. And I'd just like to tell everybody that the Coboconk Norland area AGM is tomorrow night. It's at the Coboconk Legion. If anybody is interested in attending the AGM and see what's happening up here, you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor McDonald.
Yeah, through you. First of all, well, the international pony match is over. Everybody was pretty busy, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers who made it very successful. It was a great week. But I want a special thanks to my team of volunteers who were just an exceptional group that needed a lot of credit for making the week so safe with no issues, transporting approximately over 20,000 people by tractor and wagons, and making the parking a great experience. I'm still hearing people talk about it today. So thank you very much. And it was really enjoyable working with all these individuals. I really enjoyed it. And also a great shout out to our Lindsay Police Force and the OPP for for a great job moving traffic without any issues, and they need a lot of thanks also. Yeah, it was a great week. I think everybody enjoyed themselves. It was recorded or announced. Over 50,000 people attended that. So City of Kawartha Lake should be very proud of what we did and how we represented our city. I also attended the Art Gallery Awards along with Councillor Richardson, and it was amazing to hear each story for each painting and the thought process and the meaning of each piece. It was simply amazing. I was very impressed. So congratulations to all the winners. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councillor Warren.
And through you, Mr. Mayor. I will be attending the remembrance ceremony in Bob Cajun on November 11th at 11. And this is the first time in many, many years because of COVID and the bridge. They're actually going to be able to do it at the Cenotaph, so that's going to be very special for them. And as well, I will be attending at Burnt River, and that will be on the 10th at 9 o'clock in the morning at the Cenotaph. And going forward, also, I'm inviting everybody to Settlers Village for the Festival of Trees, which is coming up very quickly, actually, November 15th. So it's always a fun time to go out and get that Christmas spirit. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ashmore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This past weekend, there was a tragedy in Thurstonia. However, no loss of life except for one pet is missing. The residents of Brandy and Tyler Bradley had their home destroyed. But for the quick work of the fire services, EMS, the residents got out quickly, and just wanted to let the people know that the family is residing at 771 County Road 36, 771 County Road 36, where donations will be accepted. And so I'd let people know about that. So they are safe, with the exception of one cat, which is missing, but hopefully she'll come back. But it was quite the neighborhood certainly rallied behind this family, the Bradley family on Cherry Hill. I'll be attending the Omimi parade for Remembrance Day on November 11th. So it'll be at the starting at the Legion and being at the Cenotaph at 11 o'clock. So it's always an important event to recognize our veterans and our current service people in Canada. And I'd also like to thank, as Deputy Mayor McDonald mentioned about the International Plowing Match and Rural Expo. It was tremendously successful. So many people, thousands of people helped, volunteered, exhibited. Just an amazing event, and too many people to thank, and it was just an amazing event. And the City of Kawartha Lakes was the big winner. It'll be a legacy for generations to come. And tomorrow night, we'll be unveiling some special footage, some drone footage and videos of that event, which takes me to my final announcement of my town hall, Ward 6 Town Hall at the Lindsay Rugby Football Club tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at 67 Vince Jones Road, and we'll be unveiling some really neat footage of the plowing match, just as one of the many videos, so presentation. So everyone welcome to attend that event. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple of things from me. I will be attending in Norland, Burnt River, and Cobeconk for Remembrance Day. I will be also attending the Remembrance Day dinner at the Fenelon Falls Legion. So hope everyone who can comes out for those Remembrance Day services. And as well, we got Halloween coming up. There's going to be a lot of young folks out, and it'll be dark, and the small ones sometimes get excited and run around. So everyone driving, please be careful. We don't want any accidents on Halloween. Thanks very much. Councillor Perry.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Just a note of thanks to local star and opera singer Barbara Dunn-Proser, who graced us all with the spectacular one-woman show of music and story celebrating the history of Fenelon Falls at St. James Anglican Church on Sunday night. It was a great time. The church was full, and it was really nice to be together and to celebrate a local artist who grew up in Fenelon Falls, but also being able to come together and enjoy our local history. So that was and local arts as well. Remembrance Day has been mentioned in Fenelon Falls on November the 10th. There is a candlelight vigil at the Cenotaph in town beginning at 7 p.m., followed on November 11th, of course, by the 11 o'clock service at the Cenotaph and a dinner at the Legion, which is by tickets at 5 p.m. Also want to acknowledge this year, of course, the contribution of local women who served in the war effort, both in factories and here tending to farms, and also recognizing the contribution of our Indigenous soldiers and veterans as well. And is it too early to talk about Christmas, Mayor? Ho, ho, ho. Local Santa Day coming up before we know it in Fenelon Falls on the 30th of November. Come early, as it's always an incredibly well-attended event, and be sure and shop and dine out and enjoy. There are lots of free activities for the whole family, and the day is done up right as an excellent precursor to the Christmas season. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I thought we'd get through Halloween first. Any notices from staff? No. Thank you. We'll move on to item 6, which is deputations. We have one deputation today. Request for support of Bobcaygeon Creeks, Inc. Proposed purchase of unpatented land from the Ministry of Natural Resources relating to item 11.1.2 on the agenda. Mr. Brian Jacket. You have 5 minutes, Mr. Jacket.
Thank you. I'm roughly just going to read from what you've been handed out. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. Later in this meeting, the land management team will be recommending that the council does not reapprove our application to purchase road allowances and unpatented land that was previously approved in 2021. The land management team has declined due to the following: First Nations consultation policy. While this request does not specifically require consultation due to the fact that the MNRF lands are unpatented, the team felt that MNRF should first consider First Nation interest in the subject properties. It is indeed part of the MNRF's process of disposition of land that First Nations consultation is done, and there is a breakdown of what their process is, showing that attached. Also, given that the location of the MNRF lands within a significant woodlot area, the team felt that it could no longer support a disposition of lands to private ownership. I cannot see where this is a significant woodlot on the city's mapping, Schedule B5 of the official plan, which is attached. In what was the Bobcaygeon secondary plan, Schedule G2, this area is not shown as a significant woodland, attached. The city plan, 3.5.13 to 16 defines a significant woodland. There are 4 types. We are in the agricultural land and rural area, and it states that a significant woodlot is more than 15 hectares. This is not. This is not a significant woodlot. It is within the town boundary, and there's significant infrastructure in place to service it. It's currently zoned R1 and residential. From our 2020 pre-consultation report, what was given back to us from the growth management strategy, the proposal is partially within the residential intensification area and partially within the residential greenfield area identified in the city's 2011 growth management strategy, and it identifies 214 greenfield residential units. This is part of your greenfield and intensification areas for development. All planning documents we have seen from the city, including the most recent transportation master plan study and wastewater servicing capacity master plan shown in this area as part of future development. We have the slides in here as well showing that. The sale of now I have some questions, not yet the answer, but if the sale of the road allowances are not allowed due to them being woodlots, does this mean that they cannot be opened? and built to municipal standards. Does this mean we cannot access our other properties? Your studies have shown that this is the direction of planning for future development. We have spent considerable money and waited 4 years to arrive here, having purchased more money under the understanding road allowances could be bought. We're 4 years to this now. The process with the MNRF lots will be 3 years approximately. Purchasing a road allowance would be another year. The planning process for site plan approval is 4 years. 8 years from now, I will be 62. Please don't take too long. Thanks.
Thank you. If you just want to stay there in case there are any questions from council. Councillor Perry.
Thanks very much, Mayor, and I just want to commend Mr. Jackett on his presentation. I can't not mention, though, history does repeat itself. It was many years ago when Mr. Jackett, now in grade 7, found ourselves before what was then Fenelon Falls Village Council, talking about business and ideas for our area. So it's kind of interesting that it's come full circle. If I could, Brian, just a quick question. You mentioned First Nations consultation was successful. What did, just really briefly, what was the result of that?
No, it's part of the MNRF.
Oh, okay, it's part of it.
If you look on page 4, there's it's number 4. Indigenous consultation is part of the process, okay, and they will need sign off before they will approve the disposition.
Thanks very much. I misunderstood. I thought that had been completed, but I guess you're referring to completion of that being in part of the assessment. So
no,
thanks.
It's before they will.
I understand. Thanks.
Any other questions for the deputant? Seeing none, there's a report later on, which council will extract and debate, and there'll be, if you want to stick around, you'll probably get a solution of some sort today.
Thank you.
Okay? Councillor Warren? Motion to receive, yes. And a seconder, Councillor Perry. All in favor? And that's passed. You're preempting me. Moving on to correspondence, item 7.1, Alexandra Public School stop sign safety relating to items 12.1 and 12.2 on the agenda by Karen Fretz. This is correspondence regarding school stop sign safety, and I'm looking for a motion to receive. Councillor Richardson, seconder, Councillor Ashmore. All in favor? And that's passed. 7.2 is a request for resurfacing of Lake Breeze Road, Fenelon Falls in 2025 by Mr. Dan Jones. The correspondence regarding a request for the resurfacing of Lake Breeze Road, Fenelon Falls in 2025 be received. I have a motion. Councillor Perry, seconder. Deputy Mayor McDonald. Councillor Perry, do you wish to speak to it?
Simply that the petition be received as printed and that it be forwarded to staff for consideration in the 2025 budget process. Thank you.
Seconder, all right with that? You did the second to
Yes.
receive, send it to staff for consideration. You're fine with that? Okay.
Yes, I am.
All in favor? And that's passed. Item 7.3 is a request for the unnamed road accessing Riverwood Park, former Ops Township, to be named Wagstaff Road. That the correspondence from Scott Wagstaff regarding a request for the unnamed road accessing Riverwood Park, former Ops Township, to be named Wagstaff Road be received. Deputy Mayor McDonald, you wanted to do this, and I think you had a follow-up as well.
Yes, I do. If I have a second, I'd like to talk about it.
Councillor Richardson.
Yeah, just to remind everybody about this road naming, I just want to give you some information to go along with that in case people have forgot. But the road access to this business, this campground, does not have a name. And because of this, this causes a lot of problems through Google Maps, and residents and campers have a hard time finding the business and the directions for their guests to come to these places. So this season campground goes from May long weekend, Thanksgiving. During that time, over 300 full-time seasonal families and well over 40 weekend campers coming in and out of there. So it's very important that the name, there has to be a name on the road. So the Wagstaff family has owned and operated a successful business here for 56 years, located on 31 River Road in Lindsay. The property has the Wagstaff name since 1911 and was previously a brickyard, which many of the older homes in Lindsay were built from. So it has a lot of history and so on. So my resolution on this one is that I'd just like to send that back through staff, go through the process, but I'm recommending the name be called the Wagstaff Road. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer that.
Thank you. We have a mover and seconder. Question? Any questions? No? All in favor? And that's passed. Moving on, we have items from Committee of the Whole. That the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting of October 8th, 2024 be received and the recommendations included in section 9.3 of the agenda be adopted, save and accept 9.3.4, 9.3.9, and 9.311. I have a mover and seconder for that. Councillor Richardson and Councillor Yo. All in favor? And that's passed. So the first extraction is 934, which is a deputation from Glenda Morris referring to sidewalk safety within Lindsay. Councillor Richardson and Councillor Warren have that extraction. Councillor Richardson, go ahead.
Thank you, and through you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I've extracted it because Ms. Morris did do an exceptional deputation that day 2 weeks ago, and it did flag some concerns I think that we've all seen with the new growth and new folks coming to the community. So I do want to receive the deputation regarding sidewalk safety within Lindsay be received, and then I have a resolution. If I have a seconder, I'll speak to that.
You're seconding
I'll second
that?
that.
So you're having a follow-up to that?
Yes. Just
Okay.
do we need
so
to
all in
receive it
favor of
first?
receiving the report? Thank you. Go ahead with your follow-up.
Okay, that staff develop an educational campaign to promote sidewalk safety for all modes of active transportation in 2025, following the conclusion of the Transportation Master Plan and the Active Transportation Master Plan.
And that's for sometime in 25, not specific?
I think it's specific to when those master plans are done. It would be more prudent to do them once they're done.
Okay. And do you want to speak to it? You want to speak to it first, or?
Yeah, if you just quickly, like I said, Ms. Morris did come to council with your deputation flagging a safety concern and was requesting a bylaw at that time. And in my mind, I said, that's just something that's not doable, really, when you look at it. But what about a communication education program, which would be beneficial for most folks? So this, in my mind, is allowing us to complete those two plans and then roll out that education when it comes to particular safety.
Councillor Warren?
Yeah, and I totally agree, and when Glenda was here, she had it specifically for Lindsay, and I said maybe it should be for the whole city through the plans. So I'm in support of the resolution on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? All in favor? And that passes. Councillor Warren, did you want to speak to it other than that, or you're fine? Thank you. The next extraction is Councillor Perry, 939, on automated speed enforcement, and I think you have a motion to go with it.
Thanks very much, Mayor. And it's no surprise to anyone around the council table the number of requests we're seeing about speed. I said last council meeting that roads is now the number 2 concern I hear from residents in Ward 3. It has been recently overtaken, pun intended, by speed and people speeding in all forms. I've had requests to look into this, to provide additional enforcement, including by photo radar, which has been used in other municipalities. And I've spoken to Councillor Richardson about this. We're like-minded on the topic in both, therefore, the northern and the south of the city. And I was also talking to Manager Kelly, who was looking forward to proceed as soon as possible on being able to acquire, or at least look into acquiring, photo radar for our use here in the city of Kawartha Lakes. So with that, my motion, as I had sent around in response to the call for extractions, was that, first of all, the report ENG 2024-022, Automated Speed Enforcement Update, be received.
Do you want to do it all, or?
I can.
Yeah.
And that staff be authorized to issue a call out to vendors for expressions of interest in establishing an automated speed enforcement administrative monetary penalty system in the city of Kawartha Lakes, and report back to us here at council by the end of the first quarter of 2025.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Richardson. Questions? Councillor Ashmore.
Thank you. Through you to the mover. Just a question on where exactly we would put these. Like, for example, the city of Oshawa has them around, which is a good idea, around school zones particularly, which is important. Would the school zones be, and obviously urban areas, be the place where they would be situated? Or?
My understanding is that there's one of the locations is community safety zones, which have been established here in the city of Kawartha Lakes. I believe there is a list of approved areas where the photo radar, for example, has to go, and that those locations would be worked out once we actually hear back about possible costs, and then as a city decide to acquire. Correction, as a council decide to acquire.
Councillor Warren.
Through you, and not just like I have areas, as Councillor Richardson does, that are like long straightaways that are a real problem. I have one of those on County Road 8. So just as long as we look at those difficult areas too.
Thank you. Anything else? Deputy Mayor McDonald.
Yeah, I have to say I agree with Councillor Perry. We don't have to look in any ward right now that we all have problems with speeding. So I think it'd be a good investment, and we need to slow people up, and this would be a good start.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, all in favor? And that passes. Last extraction for Committee of the Whole, item 9311 is 498 Golf Course Road Telecommunications Facility, and that's Councillor Richardson.
Thank you, and through you, Mr. Mayor. This one's a bit of a challenge, and I did take the opportunity to go out and reach out and walk the property with Mr. Cook regarding his concerns with this particular cell tower. And we did review the fact that, connectivity is critical. And we have a lot of towers that we need to have in place because they're gaps. And the height of these towers have to be the size they are, because that means less towers, because you're creating that connectivity. At this time, he did recognize, my logic and the prescribed logic that we follow as a city when it comes to these applications. This one is a contested application, meaning that is now sitting with council to make that decision. His only, his words at the end of the conversation were, is there any way there could be consideration? Is there another site locally that would be a better option? And I said that I would definitely bring that to the table for discussion. So I'm willing to hear if anybody else has some dialogue that they'd like to share on this particular application.
Thank you. Anybody? Go. Councillor McDonald, Deputy Mayor McDonald.
Yeah, through you. Yes, I I understand the concerns with this individual, and we could look at that to see. I don't think we make the decisions on that, but if we could help to find another location or whatever. But keep in mind, though, this is very important because everybody that I know of is looking for better cell service in our area. So we got to be very careful what we do and what decision we make, because I know the cell towers and communication is very weak in Lindsay and in the surrounding areas. So we still got to make sure that we do the right thing, as making sure that we keep that going and making it better for everybody. So, but there's nothing wrong with looking at it and getting a report back. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Through Mr. Mayor, I think it's because we had that 30-day window that was already put out there, and I believe, and like I said, I said I would speak on behalf of my resident, saying that he does not feel that this tower is in the best location. So I'm making sure that his voice is heard.
Thank you. Are you moving the motion? You're not. Somebody want to move this motion? Kind of. Councillor Perry, seconder? Seconder? Deputy Mayor McDonald? All in favor? I don't know what happens because it's out of our control. So, you know, it's the federal government that dictates where these things go. So let's see a show of hands. All in favor of this cell tower?
In favor of the cell tower?
Yeah? And that passes. Councillor Ashmore, you...
Yeah, thank you. Through you to Director Barry, if I could ask a question. I went through a similar situation in West Dunsford area where the people had that extra time, and Director Barry, she was really good at explaining this to me, and we dealt with different agencies, federal government, as you just said. They're the ones that govern this system, flawed system, in my opinion. But through you to Director Barry, is there any, could you sort of recapitulate what we went through on Gilmar Road that would help the residents at least get their say in? Because it's a similar situation where they asked, why can't we relocate this tower? We want the tower, but is there any way we could relocate it geographically to make everybody happy, if there is such a thing? But
Well, I think there's a couple of things with this tower. It's not residents, it's one resident who's adjacent to it, who's complaining about where it's located. I understand the guy's point of view, but it's also, if you recognize, it's our tower, because it's one of EORN's, Eastern Ontario Regional Network, which we put money in to support to get cell towers across Eastern Ontario to improve connectivity. So we're kind of flying in the face of our own desires here by opposing it. But by all means, Director Barry, if you can give us Reader's Digest version.
Mr. Mayor, through you, thank you for the opportunity. So to be clear, the councillor is asking about just an overview, a quick one of what happened with a different tower than the one that we're speaking of now. And I can do that if you'll also indulge to the matter at hand. Yes, I echo your comments, definitely. There is one resident who made the deputation, and that's what we're discussing currently. I will draw council's attention to the very thorough information package and citing criteria, sort of certainly beyond just a checklist that was included with the package that was part of the staff report that we brought to council's attention. And I actually found that package to be very informative, and I would encourage the resident, the deputant, to have a look at that. And as a reminder too, the agent on the file, Eric Belchamber, continues to be open to take calls from residents, and I'm not aware that he received any following the information presented at the last meeting. There is still an opportunity to do that in this case. The final sort of sighting that was presented with this tower was the result of a series of impact analysis that was done, and the least amount of impact was the site that resulted, including on surrounding neighbors. So wanted to make that point. With respect to the tower on Gilmar, Council heard deputations in that matter as well. That was, as well as this one, subject to the required consultation period. There was additionally some time following the council meeting in that case to address some specific questions that were raised at the meeting. So there was an information package that was put together to be presented to the neighbors who had some, actually more than just some, there was close to 10 pages of questions that both staff and the agents for the developer in that case had addressed. So we continue to keep those lines of communication open with the residents so that they can learn a little bit more about the process and how we end up supporting the siting that is presented to us, and then ultimately send our letters of support to the federal agency. There was, I believe, the end of the week after that council meeting that the sort of ability or availability of staff to answer questions for the public continued beyond that council meeting in the case of Gilmar.
Thank you. Is that good for you, Councillor Ashmore? Okay. So anyway, that's a done deal. We've passed that motion, and hopefully the resident understands that we have heard his concerns, and unfortunately, it is what it is, and that's where the tower will be. Thank you. Moving on to Planning Advisory Committee, there is no correspondence. Have a motion that the minutes of the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of October 9th, 2024 be received and the recommendations included in sections 10.3 of the agenda be adopted. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councillor Warren, Councillor Richardson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? And that passes. Now move on to consent agendas, and Councillor Perry, I think you have the consent agenda?
Well, yes, I do, Mayor. It is moved by...
Yeah, and the extractions are 11.11 and 11.12.
Excellent, thank you. So, with that said, I will move, and Councillor Warren has agreed to second, that all of the proposed resolutions shown in section 1.1 of the agenda be approved and adopted by council in the order that they appear on the agenda and sequentially numbered, save and except for items 11.1 and 11.2.
Thank you. All in favor? And that passes. Why don't we do 11.12 first, so that Mr. Jacket can leave and go back to his business if he wants to. Councillor Ashmore, you extracted that for a question, I believe.
Sorry, through you, I could let Councillor Warren, it's in her ward, so I'll leave it with Councillor Ward.
Thank you. Councillor Warren.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, and I have a resolution that council continue to support Bobcaygeon Creeks Incorporated. Their request to purchase the lots described as lots 13 and 14 on Plan 70 west of Francis Street in the geographic village of Bobcaygeon, City of Kawartha Lakes, and lots 9 and 10 on Plan 70 east of Bond Street in the geographic village of Bobcaygeon, City of Kawartha Lakes, from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry. That a letter be drafted to confirm council's current support of Bobcaygeon Creeks Incorporated and placed on the mayor's letterhead, and the mayor be authorized to sign said letter on behalf of council as acknowledgement of council's formal and continued support of Bob Cajun Creeks Incorporated request to purchase lots from the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, and that staff be directed to proceed with the request to purchase road allowances adjacent to Bob Cajun Creeks Incorporated's holdings following its acquisition of the MNR lands as per the disposition procedures set out in CP 2021-033, Disposal of Real Property Policy, and Bylaw 2018-20, Disposition of Municipal Real Property as amended.
Thank you. We have a seconder for that?
Yeah. I'll make that motion to receive also.
Thank you. So, Councillor Perry, you're seconding it. Did you want to speak to it, Councillor Warren?
I think this is, you know, the previous council had supported this going forward, and I think we should support it also. I have talked to the deputant and got my questions answered, so I am quite happy making this motion.
Thank you. Councillor Perry, did you want to speak to it?
I'm fine, thank you.
So we have a motion to receive, and the motion is read by Councillor Warren. All in favor? And that's passed. Mr. Jackett, just so you know, if council decides, which they have done, to support your application to purchase the lands, it does not place any obligation on the city to approve a future development plan, nor does it provide any guarantee that any future development plans will be approved. Just so you, I just want to be clear on that, so you know there's a process to go through. I know you know this, but I have to say it in public just to be sure that we dot the i's and cross the t's. Thank you for coming today. Thanks, everybody. We'll now go back to item 1111, and Councillor Richardson, there is, we just have to clean this up a little bit, and if I read the motion, are you good? So that report, Mayor, 2024-001, council member appointments be received, that the following councillor appointments be approved and continued until the end of the current term of council, being November 14th, 2026. Board, committee, or task force new member appointments. Kawartha Lakes Municipal Heritage Committee, Councillor Richardson. Planning Advisory Committee, Councillor Ashmore. Victoria Manor Committee of Management, Councillor Ashmore. Halliburton Kawartha Pine Ridge District Health Unit Board, Councillor Joyce. Kawartha Lakes Police Services Board, Councillor McDonald. OPP Board, Councillor Perry. That the terms of reference for the Victoria Manor Committee be amended to increase the composition to 4 members of council, and that the terms of reference for the Planning Advisory Committee be amended to increase the membership to 9 members, being 4 members of council and 5 members of the public, with 1 alternate member of council. That the following appointments scheduled to end 2024 be approved and continue until the end of the current term of council, being November 14th, 2026. Committee of Adjustment, Councillor Yeo. Fenland Cemetery Board, Councillor Perry. That any necessary bylaws to facilitate the new or continuing appointments be brought forward for adoption. You're good to move that motion?
Nicely said, Mr. Mayor. Yes.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Perry. All in favor? And that passes. Thank you. That is the end of our consent agenda for today. Councillor Ashmore, I think you have, oh, sorry, I got to do petitions. There is a petition, item 12.1, request for speed and safety analysis for the area around Alexandra Public School by Miss Lisa Quinney. I have a motion to receive that, please. Councillor Warren, Deputy Mayor McDonald. We'll receive it and refer it to staff. All in favor? And that passes. The second one, item 12.2, request for crosswalk lights on Coburn Street West, Lindsay at Alexandra Public School. This is an electronic petition with 31 signatures, and it's from Ms. Karen Fretz. I have a motion to receive and refer to staff. Deputy Mayor McDonald, seconder Councillor Richardson, all in favor, and that's passed. 12.3 is a request for the resurfacing of Meadowvale Road, Omemee, and the roads joining Meadowview between Highway 7 to Kawartha Lakes Road 10 to be included in the 5-year roads plan or addressed in other life cycle programs, being Orange Corners Road, Maple Ridge Drive, Trillium Court, Wren Street, Hummingbird Drive, Killdeer Drive, Farmview Road, and Hidden Valley Road. Note, a complete copy of the petition with 246 signatures is available for viewing in the clerk's office, and that was presented by Mr. Peter Grubert. Can I have a motion to receive and refer to staff? Councillor Richardson, Councillor Perry. All in favor? And that's done. Item 12.4, a request for resurfacing of Hickory Beach Road between Kawartha Lakes 8 and Kawartha Lakes 30 by the end of 2025. A complete copy of the petition with 37 signatures is available for viewing at the city clerk's office. I have a motion to receive and a motion to refer it to staff. Councillor Perry, seconder, Deputy Mayor McDonald. All in favor? And that passes. Item 12.5 is a request for a traffic light installation at Kawartha Lakes Road 36 and Weldon Road, Lindsay. This is an electronic petition with 36 signatures by Mr. Adam Raison. Can I have a motion to receive, Councillor Warren, and to refer to staff? Councillor Richardson. All in favor? And that passes. We now have, Councillor Ashmore, you have bylaws, I believe.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Richardson, that the bylaws shown in section 14.1 of the agenda, namely items 14.1.1, 2 and including 14.1.10, be read a first, second, and third time passed, numbered, signed, and the corporate seal attached.
Thank you. All in favor? And that's passed. Council will now move into closed session. Could I get a mover and seconder that the closed session agenda be adopted as circulated? Councillor Yeo, Deputy Mayor McDonald. All in favor? And that's carried. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest in closed session items? Seeing none, should any arise, advise the chair, we'll deal with them accordingly. At this point in the meeting, City Council will go into closed session to consider the items under section 16.3 of the agenda. As per our procedural bylaw requirements, I'm asking all electronic participants in our meeting today to confirm to me by raising their hands that they are in a private room where no other persons can overhear the deliberations and the internet connection is secure and not publicly accessible. Thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder that council convene into closed session at 1:55 PM pursuant to Section 239(2) of the Municipal Act in order to consider matters identified in Section 16.3 of the regular council meeting agenda of Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, namely items 16.3.1, 2, and including 16.3.3. Councillor Warren, Councillor Ashmore, all in favor? And that's passed. At this point, the meeting broadcast will now end for members of the public watching on Cogeco, your TV cable. The live stream of the meeting on YouTube and the rebroadcast on Cable and Rogers Ignite will now be temporarily paused for members of the public. When closed session is complete, the live stream and rebroadcast of the meeting will resume to address the remaining open session items on the agenda. All remaining staff, with the exception of those involved within the closed session, are now instructed to leave the electronic meeting and council chambers at this time. Okay, so we're back in open session. Madam Clerk, items from closed session.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, item 16.3.1, the confidential closed minutes for the regular council meeting of September 24th, 2024 were approved. Item 16.3.2, council provided direction regarding the acquisition of land along Coburn Street West, Lindsay. Item 16.3.3, a motion is required that Kimberly Johnston be appointed as the municipal representative on the City of Kawartha Lakes OPP Attachment Board for a term ending November 14th, 2026.
Councillor Warren, Councillor Richardson, all in favor? Hands up. All in favor? Thank you. That's passed. 16.3.3. Okay, folks, I've got to do a bylaw here. That a bylaw to provide for the making of an application for approval to expropriate land being all of PIN 63216-0051 LT, described as part of lots 4 and 5 in Block A on Registered Plan 1, as in R230587 in the City of Kawartha Lakes, be read a first, second, and third time, pass number signed, and the corporate seal attached. Councillor Richardson, seconder, Councillor Perry. All in favor? And that's passed. Thank you. Moving on. Item 19 is a confirming bylaw. Councillor Richardson.
Thank you, and through you, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Ashmore, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular council meeting held Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 be read a first, second, and third time pass, number signed, with the corporate seal attached.
Thank you. All in favor? And that's passed. I have a motion to adjourn. Councillor Yeo, Councillor Ashmore, all in favor? Thank you all for coming today. Remember, our Committee of the Whole meeting in November starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay? And there will be lunch. It's all things economic development that morning.